Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. The deadline to get your holiday packages in the mail to arrive on time is approaching. Big Fox's Josh Feldberg tells us about the holiday shipping guidelines.
Shipping holiday gifts can be a very stressful time. Whether it's buying last-minute gifts or shipping presents across the country, the United States Postal Service offers recommendations on when you should send your holiday shopping. According to USPS communications specialist Mark Lawrence, the Postal Service has installed nearly 250 additional package sorting machines across the country since 2021. This increases the Postal Service's package process capacity to 60 million packages a day. This year, the three major winter holidays all fall around a similar date. Hanukkah ends right around when Christmas and Kwanzaa begins, which helps make the shipping guidelines easier to follow. For the standard USPS ground shipping service, December 17th is the last recommended day to ship a package for an expected delivery date before December 25th. If you're falling a little behind on your holiday shopping, you can choose priority mail services that have deadlines of December 19th and December 23rd. The Postal Service also offered ways everyone can help the holiday shipping process. Keeping your mailbox free of debris and cleared of obstructions like cars or snow can help drivers with the delivery process. USPS also wants to remind pet owners that drivers will not make deliveries if pets are loose on the property. Standard shipping deadlines for international and military mail have already passed, but you can still get packages to loved ones with other services. Josh Feldberg, Big Fox News, Southern Tier.
Porch piracy has spiked in recent years, and the holiday season gives these thieves more opportunity. Big Fox's Maggie Hall tells us how to keep our packages safe this December.
New York State has one of the highest package theft rates in the nation. Porch pirates tend to take advantage of the rise in online shopping during the holiday season. The Elmira Police Department is currently investigating a porch piracy case. Here in this footage, the same suspect steals multiple packages off of the resident's porch. The same suspect has targeted this house in November and December. If you recognize this individual or have any further information on these larcenies, contact the Elmira Police Department. So how can your packages stay safe? Doorbell cameras let you monitor your porch. They also offer video evidence for apprehending the porch pirate. Amazon shoppers can take advantage of Amazon Key, a home delivery service that allows your delivery driver limited access to your garage or home to deliver the package safely inside. These drivers go through extensive background checks. If you can, schedule your shipment for when you or a member of your household will be home. If you experience any porch piracy this holiday season, be sure to report it to the non-emergent police number in your area. Take extra care to protect your packages from Grinches, and happy holidays. Maggie Hall, Big Fox News, Corning.
New York State Police warning people against a phone scam happening this holiday season. Individuals are calling up residents claiming to be with the New York State Police Department, and then they're requesting donations. State Police wants to remind you that they do not solicit donations. If you receive a call like this, hang up immediately and report it to your local police department. The Elmira Police Department and Elmira Notre Dame High School students teaming up to help the homeless in Elmira. As part of the Homeless Project, Elmira Notre Dame's Junior Ladies of Charity Club gathered 40 drawstring bags worth of supplies for the city's homeless. The bags contain blankets, hats, gloves, socks, hygiene products, and snacks. Elmira PD officers collected the bags from the students and then distributed them to those in need. More than 3 decades after Pan Am Flight 103 blew up over Scotland, the man accused of building that bomb appears in a U.S. federal courtroom. Caroline Shively has more from outside the courthouse in Washington.
For 34 years, the families of 270 people who died in the bombing of Pan Am Flight 103 have been waiting for justice. Today, they may get one step closer. The Libyan man accused of making the bomb that ripped the New York-bound plane apart over Lockerbie, Scotland, appearing in a federal court in Washington, D.C. this afternoon.
I think this is a good example of the tenacity of the international terrorism program between the FBI and Department of Justice and the intelligence community as a whole.
While he is the third Libyan intelligence official charged in the U.S. in connection with the crime, Abu Aguila Mohammed Massoud is the first to come to the U.S. to face charges after 2 years of negotiations.
Let there be no mistake. No amount of time or distance will stop the United States and our Scottish partners from pursuing justice in this case.
36-year-old father and husband Tom Ammerman was one of the 190 Americans killed in the explosion. His brother says the family is still waiting for answers from the U.S. government.
Do what is right. Mr. President, step forward. Don't give political speak. Just tell it like it is. You know what's going on, and tell us when the intelligence information is going to be made available.
The FBI says the Libyan government ordered the bombing. Masood was a longtime explosives expert for the Libyan intelligence service. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Ride-hailing company Uber asks a court to intervene to halt some pay rate increases to drivers in New York City. Uber has petitioned the New York Supreme Court to temporarily halt per-minute and per-mile pay rate increases. The pay increases set by the city's Taxi and Limousine Commission come later this month. Uber argues the company would have to absorb $21 to $23 million per month if costs aren't passed on to consumers. With a possible government shutdown now just days away, lawmakers on Capitol Hill may be making some progress. But the deadline comes at the end of the week, and as Doug Luzader reports from Washington, the two sides are still tens of billions of dollars apart.
Once again, we are creeping up on Christmas here on Capitol Hill, and both sides have been digging in their heels.
Our input, our voice, the voice of now the majority of the people in the country after January 3rd has not been recognized.
Short-term extensions are just a temporary solution to the ongoing crisis we face.
It's the usual dynamics here. Democrats pressing for more spending, many Republicans arguing for a temporary deal to get them to next year when they take over the House. Senate Appropriations Chairman Patrick Leahy just put the brakes on a plan to try to jam through a Democratic proposal today, saying that the two sides made some progress over the weekend. And it's possible, if we get to Thursday this week, just on the verge of a partial government shutdown, both sides could agree to a stopgap deal to buy some time.
There's no appetite for a government shutdown, I'm told by people close to the talks. What you could see is a 1-week continuing resolution, in a sense, to continue funding the government at the current levels for a week so that they can continue to negotiate a deal.
But still, deadlines here can also focus minds.
Can we do it in the next few days before the 16th? We can. Deadlines are absolutely appropriate.
An annual deadline for health care coverage is approaching for those without insurance coverage. The deadline to sign up for Obamacare is Thursday. Those already with Obamacare will have it automatically renewed. For those who enroll after the deadline, coverage will not start until February 1st, leaving them uninsured for the month of January. Stay with us. Your complete workweek forecast is next.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Over the weekend, we saw a pullback in the temperatures as we saw some returning rain to snowfall across the area, bringing in some isolated amounts even over towards Binghamton, up to about 5 inches. Locally, we were on the lesser side with only a few tenths of an inch, upwards of about 3 inches for the area. But what we will note is that we are entered into a fairly quiet weather pattern. We stayed under mostly cloudy skies today, but that sunshine continues to gradually return and under clear and calm skies tonight. Note that temperatures are expected to fall within those teens as we drop down to about 15 degrees into Elmira, where this time of the year we should be holding on to those lower 20s. So heading out the doors early in the morning, make sure to have something warm to drink and you have those hats and mittens handy. Now, what we'll note is that we do stay underneath some sunshine as well as more seasonal high temperatures. We do trend to keep temperatures maybe a degree or two below average, but holding within the 30s this time of the year is where we should be sitting, and that's going to stay in place both Tuesday and Wednesday. Pretty copy and paste forecast there. But what will be arriving by the end of the week is
is going to be a messy warm front, especially this time of the year when the warm front can lift those temperatures into those 40s. That brings that potential of some wintry mix again with the system, as well as seeing that when the system pushes on by, there is going to be some limited moisture with it, but still can cause for some of those travel concerns. However, it looks like on the backside of the system, we're not expecting to see much for snowfall. However, there could be a lake effect snow event setting up for the northern portions of the state towards those Great Lakes. So we'll keep an eye on any of the extent through our region. But for the most part, as we see some slight warming with that warm front, we do see that cooling return by the end of the week as we do drop back into those lower 30s for high temperatures. So trending though into a gorgeous Tuesday, we have that plenty of sunshine in place as we start off into the teens. We do climb back up into those 30s and should look at high temperatures just around what's average for this time of the year, which does settle around about 39 degrees. We see the area run anywhere from those lower 30s through the Finger Lakes. We drop to about 38 towards Corning as well as Elmira. Mansfield around about 32 degrees. So generally, again, a few degrees below average, but nothing that's striking for the area for this time of the year. Wednesday, pretty similar again, looking at near freezing temperatures, a little bit cooler there ahead of that frontal system. Some cloud cover increase also in place before we'll be timing out that system on Thursday. Now you can see we have that southeasterly wind in place with that warm front both Thursday and Friday. A little windy with it as well, so we'll watch the wind gust potential as that precipitation moves in. But with it again being so warm at that system, there's definitely going to be more of a wintry mix. Might get some light snow showers on onset, all dependent on timing and where those temperatures do fall. But we'll also see that we will be dealing with that chance for some wintry mix in place through that Saturday forecast. Watching that diminish on Sunday as we will be watching those temperatures then fall back down below averages. We do hit average, might have a chance for the 40s on Friday, but then should be holding into those 30s as we step into next week.
Well, you know, holiday festivities tend to involve alcohol, but there is a risk of drinking too much. Health expert is sharing ways to enjoy the holidays without going overboard. Marian Rafferty has more.
It's the most wonderful time of the year with family gatherings and holiday parties happening across the globe. There's no denying alcohol plays a major role in these celebrations, but it can get out of hand before you know it.
It's a social behavior, and so we tend to gather more with other individuals and we have more opportunity to drink and celebrate.
According to the American Addiction Centers, besides the 4th of July, the time between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day is when many people find themselves drinking the most alcohol. And it's not always for happy reasons. For some, the holidays can be a time of stress, loneliness, and depression.
When we have physiological responses to stress, that may trigger a craving for relief from that stress. And that's one of the reasons why individuals increase their drinking during the holidays and why it's important to monitor that behavior.
There are ways to refrain from binge drinking. Health experts recommend exercising and engaging in healthy social interactions.
The more that you can spend quality time with friends and family, talking about stresses in your life and just sharing your experiences, that can really help to reduce problematic drinking.
Another way to cut back on alcohol intake is to participate in the public health challenge called Dry January. It's when people choose to stay away from booze for a month. Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Twitter's subscription service returns, updated tax rules for payment apps, and Bad Bunny fans get turned away. CJ Papa has today's business briefs.
Twitter Blue is back. The social media platform has relaunched the premium service that allows users who pay a monthly fee to get a blue check mark next to their Twitter handle. Twitter had previously given blue checks to companies, government entities, celebrities, and journalists who Twitter had verified. After Elon Musk bought Twitter in October, the platform began the subscription service. Twitter shut the service down days later when imposter accounts began appearing. The relaunched service costs $8 for web users and $11 for iPhone users. New IRS rules will affect how money received through payment apps like PayPal and Venmo is reported. The companies will be required to report to the IRS users' business transactions if they're higher than $600 for the year. The previous threshold was $20,000, or if a user had at least 200 separate transactions for the year. The new rule only applies to taxable income payments for goods and services. And Ticketmaster is apologizing to fans who had tickets to a Bad Bunny concert and were turned away. Fans who had legitimate tickets to Bad Bunny's concert in Mexico City last Friday were denied entry. It's not clear how many fans were affected, but it was enough that Ticketmaster issued an apology. In a statement, Ticketmaster Mexico says the issue was caused by an unprecedented number of false tickets being presented for entry. The company said anyone who had a legitimate ticket and was turned away can email to request a refund. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. I'm CJ Papa.
Still ahead, an Oklahoma teen and his dad paying it forward this holiday season. That story and more coming up. Well, suicide is one of the leading death causes in Arizona among young people, and an Arizona clinic is offering a holistic approach to helping patients who are struggling with mental health. Anita Roman reports.
According to the CDC, in 2020, suicide was the 12th leading cause of death in the U.S. Nearly 4 times as many men as women died by suicide, and suicide is the second leading cause of death in Arizona for ages 10 to 24 and 25 to 34.
Happiness feels like just an impossibility. It's like an incomprehensible emotion at that when you're in that darkness and like at that point of desperation. It's like happiness is just never going to be achievable again.
That's how Winston Ellis describes some of his darkest days. A year ago, the now 23-year-old says he didn't have the will to live.
The stigma for sure affected me. It took me, 7 years of dealing with pretty major anxiety and depression before I started to get treatment for it.
This right here is our hyperbaric oxygen treatment.
Dr. Kirsten Northup is a psychology postdoctoral resident who works at the Mental Health Center of America, based in Phoenix, where Ellis receives outpatient treatment.
That stigma ultimately is a lack of understanding, and I think in that age group there's kind of that pressure from society to really be very self-reliant, and so I think young adults and adolescents, especially males, often feel that if I go in for help and I need help, that means I'm not self-reliant.
Dr. Northup helps individuals use their own strengths and internal resources to achieve mental well-being. Treatment methods here are holistic.
This is the cold plunge. So these are our 2 forms of cold exposure.
And include cold plunges, red light therapy, one-on-one counseling, and psychiatric medication interventions, just to name a few.
Some people really kind of have that aha moment, and I think for others it's really can vary in how they come to that point where they're free of some of those symptoms.
I think just talking about it, I think one of the biggest things is like even if it's just one person in your life that you can find and confide in.
Ellis encourages anyone who needs help to get it, never to be embarrassed to ask, because when he did, he says it saved his life. Anita Roman, Fox 10 News.
A teen in Oklahoma who, when he was just 3, was given a bike as a surprise gift from a firefighter, wants to give other children that same gift. Alex Cash has that story.
Zane Rhodes is 16, but back when he was 3 years old, while watching the Grove Christmas parade with his family, a firefighter gave him a bike as a surprise gift.
I remember getting the bike, it was red, some stripes on it, and I was just really happy.
Jump forward 13 years, and now Zane and his dad Steve are on a mission to pay it forward.
They just walking down and handed a little kid a bike, and they had no idea it was going to have that effect on somebody, but that's why it stuck with me, just how much of an impact it had on a little kid.
Steve is the captain of this 25-foot-long towboat at Grand Lake, helping boaters in trouble on the water. He and Zane decided to put the boat into the Grove Christmas parade and hand out 8 bikes to kids aged 10 and under in the crowd.
We just kind of thought of the idea and figured it would be cool to give out a lot of bikes to other people, kind of pass it on, pass it forward.
The bikes are all loaded up here onto the boat now, ready to give away. Zane and Steve say they hope that this will be the gift that keeps on giving and turn into a tradition that goes on and on. At the parade, Steve and Zane say they hope they can make a child's Christmas.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, no problem.
She wants to give you a high five.
Merry Christmas. Hope you have fun with it.
Zane and Steve have just handed out the bikes in the Christmas parade, and the families that got them told me they can't believe it.
I like riding bikes because they're fast and you get to pedal and go fast.
It's like Christmas came early, like
really, really, really early.
Amongst all the Christmas lights, Steve and Zane say the best light of all is seeing a child's face light up this Christmas.
It was pretty awesome. This last little girl, she had that look on her face, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
Stay with us. We'll have more after the break. And as always, we want to leave you with a smile. Airbnb is giving Lord of the Rings fans a chance to travel to Middle-earth. The shooting location of the film franchise in New Zealand, known as Hobbiton, will be available on Tuesday for a few guests to book a stay in the Shire. The cost to stay is only $6 a night, but only 3 individual 2-night bookings will be accepted, according to Airbnb. The allotted stays will be in 2023. More details are available on Airbnb's website. I'm Harriet Wallace. Thanks for watching.